doing connections and collaborations in computer science and computational thinking, and we're primarily looking at our elementary education program. So we started out with just developing survey and interview protocols and getting the IRB approvals last fall. We really wanted to see where our community of faculty and students were and get a baseline of, what they knew about computational thinking overall. So we gave the survey to the education faculty, math faculty, and computer science faculty last fall, and we followed that with just a short interview because we really wanted to get at what types of resources they were using, what their attitudes were. And then we, in January, we pulled together our cohort of elementary education pre-service teachers who were getting ready to start their internship 1. And we gave them the survey, and we didn't do the interview with them, but we are going to do the post-survey in just a couple weeks. We decided we were going to take, based off of some of the information that we saw on the survey results and the interviews, really a 3-prong approach to building a common knowledge across these 3 departments. We were going to first hold a series of faculty and student workshops. The second thing we were going to do is we have built out a computational thread that runs through courses that the elementary education pre-service teachers will take throughout the 4 years that they are here at the Mount. And then the third thing was establishing a computational thinking advisory council. And I'll talk more about that council in a minute. So the workshops are really our intent was what we found on the survey is many of the pre-service teachers had really no idea what computational thinking was. They could make a guess on what it would mean, but they really could not give a cohesive definition of what is computational thinking. Many of them had no experience with any type of computer science programming other than a couple of the students on the survey said that they had done some Scratch in high school. So we put together a series of 4 2- to 3-hour workshops for our students. And we based those workshops off of the book by Krautsman, the Computational Thinking and Coding for All Students. And we worked through hands-on activities. We invited our math and computer science faculty to come in and hold mini lessons for our students. And our culminating event for this semester was supposed to be a computational thinking fair at the beginning of May. And really the intent of that was so that the students could take everything they've learned, and they are working on a project-based learning project for a couple of their current courses, their methods courses. And so they were going to then present their work at the fair, as well as we were going to have some keynote speakers. So we are going to still have them present, but they'll do it in the form of creating a video since we can't all come together in one place. Now for the faculty workshops, we held our first one in December, and it was really just as an introduction and an overview of what the project was about, computational thinking in general. And we wanted to do that so that we noticed from the interviews and from the surveys that we didn't have the buy-in from all of our faculty, and we really wanted to take the time to build that buy-in. So we did an introduction that really focused on why. Why should they care about bringing CT into their instruction across disciplines? We held our second workshop with the faculty in March, and unfortunately it was cut short because it happened to be the same day that the Mount closed for the spring semester, moved to remote instruction. So we got a little bit pushed back on working with those faculty, but we did have a chance to do a couple of hands-on activities and start the discussion to schedule a summer boot camp where we would do an intensive week-long boot camp just exploring computational thinking with our faculty in the School of Education. So, sorry, let me move this a little. So I want to talk to you about what is this instructional thread that we have built out for these elementary pre-service teachers. So the first thing we've done is we've incorporated in our MA 108 and MA 109, which is our Math for Elementary Education. So we've built in a couple of lessons in both of those semesters just to begin to give them basic concepts for computational thinking. And we do that in that first year because we had a great opportunity last summer. Last summer, one of our core classes, our mathematical thinking, which is a 200 level class, was restructuring. And in that restructuring, we had an opportunity to put in computational thinking as one of the core topics that all students at the Mount would have exposure to. So that is the second class that, or the second level that all of our, not only elementary pre-service teachers, but all students here at the Mount will go through that. It's usually a 2-week unit on, and I see I have mathematical thinking here, but the unit is computational thinking. When they are juniors, we have a computational thinking, a couple of lessons that are in the math methods course, and also we discuss it in our science methods course. But the key to their junior level, this is when internship 1 occurs, and that is where we are carving out the time for that series of 4 workshops. So it's the same cohort that is taking Ed 350, Ed 351, and they're doing that series of workshops. And the reason why we really wanted to focus that at this level is we have a large project that is part of both of these methods courses where they work together on a project-based learning project. And we've included a computational thinking component to that project. So that's what I was mentioning in the computational thinking fair. Then in their senior level, my apologies. When they're seniors, then they do an action research course, our Ed 445. And so the group that has gone through our workshops this year, next year they will take Ed 445, and that research that they'll work on will be centered around computational thinking. So we're really excited to see how they do with this course next year after having gone through the workshops this year. So the last component, or the last prong of that 3 prong approach was to build this computational thinking advisory council.
I have no, my Wi-Fi is terrible.
So this council is made up of 4 different components. We have faculty from the departments of education, math, and computer science. We have students that are also from these departments. We have representatives from Frederick County Public Schools, and then we have community members. And we feel like by having people on the council from those 4 factions, that we have a broad perspective on what direction we need to take when it comes to developing our students to go into the schools and teach. So it also, we found, has really built a nice synergy between our students. And one quick example is we have a senior this year that is doing a computational thinking tutorial, a 1-credit Gen Sci tutorial. And she was really getting stuck. She had participated in some of the workshops, but not all of them because of her schedule. And yet she was able to pair up with a cyber student through this council, through CTAC, and collaborate on her project. So that's been a really nice synergy that came from that. What's next? So we're really hoping that this summer, by late summer, we are able to reschedule the faculty boot camp from May to right before classes start up again in August. So we're watching our calendar and watching what's going on pretty carefully so that we can schedule that if possible. If it's not possible to meet face-to-face, we're looking at how can we shift that to online. We are developing lessons not only for our students, but also for our faculty. And that is for incorporating computational thinking across disciplines. The CTAC we've suspended for now simply because we know that our faculty right now are using all energy to move these classes online, as well as our teachers from Frederick County Public Schools and our students as well. So we are hoping to pick that up again in the fall. And next year, we're really excited because next year will be the first year that we have students at all 4 levels of our thread. We currently have students at the first 3, but next year will be the first year we're engaging seniors. So that is where we are moving. And while we haven't made as much progress as we had hoped at this point in time, we feel like we're pretty well on track with a couple of adjustments.
A lot. So we can